Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here from not our studios in downtown Lansing, but you're used to this familiar scene here. We are going to run down to the Capillary Michigan Works offices now in downtown Lansing, and we're going to talk with Jay LaNew and Joe Winkiel. These guys are, Jay is Business Service Officer / Apprenticeships, and Joe is the Business Service Officer at CAMW. And guys, it's good of you to join us. I see they sent you to the conference room again. Was this a behavioral thing, or?
Yes.
In trouble again.
Yeah.
So about time you guys got caught. All right. Well, listen, let's talk a little bit about that. And it's not crazy we're talking about it right now, because it's kind of a national recognition of apprenticeship time, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Next week we'll be at the annual National Apprenticeship Week, so we'll be celebrating that.
Unbelievable. And I don't even want to ask you how you celebrate National Apprenticeship Week. I don't want to be party to that.
Right.
But let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about, in particular, because there's a lot of different apprenticeships. Tell me about a registered apprenticeship.
Yeah, registered apprenticeships are they're formal work-based training, and they combine classroom training with on-the-job training. And so, you know, unlike an internship, it's a job from day one. So when you start an apprenticeship program, you're working from the first day, and you're learning from the mentors, your experienced workers on the job. Apprenticeships typically last 2 to 6 years, and each year 2,000 hours of on-the-job training with around 150 hours of classroom training. So very effective form of learning a job.
Gotcha. Thanks, Jay. Joe, tell me a little bit about how employers can benefit from this apprenticeship program.
Absolutely. You know, with what we're seeing, the business climate out there, what we're seeing right now, employers are experiencing a lot of job openings. And, you know, at Capital Area Michigan Works here, and really the Michigan Works associations across the state, we're hoping to encourage companies to look outside their normal hiring practices and possibly look at apprenticeships as one possible solution to their workforce issues.
So listen, Jay, you had alluded to this before, but let me ask you, what's the difference between apprenticeship and traditional employment if, you know, they both get paid from the beginning?
Yep, that's true, Chris. You know, with a registered apprenticeship, what you're doing, or your goal, is to develop a pipeline of properly trained workers. So traditional employment, you're filling a vacancy for a job opening. But with an apprenticeship program, you've created a customized training approach that is going to be a pipeline down the road where you can learn from those experienced workers. One of the main goals and benefits of an apprenticeship program is that you're reducing turnover, you're improving retention, and increasing worker productivity through that form of work-based training.
You know, it's interesting because here at the Michigan Business Network, I would say we have hired upwards of 30% of our interns over the years. Apprenticeships, you're pointing out, is very different because they pay from day one. Let me ask you how a company would set up a registered apprenticeship program, because what comes to mind when someone says apprenticeship, I'm thinking of plumbers, I'm thinking of craft people, you know, of those types of things.
Yeah, you know, the construction trades are probably the most common users of registered apprenticeship programs. But and I'll have Joe talk about some of the non-traditional apprenticeship programs we're seeing. But, you know, in order to set up a program, you do not need to be union. You can be non-union company. And the first step would be to meet with myself. In our area, there's apprenticeship success coordinators in every region. But what we'll want to do is meet and talk about your training needs. And from there, we can bring in the U.S. Department of Labor, and they can help us get to the goal line and get your registered program set up.
So, you know, the funny thing is, Jay, what I've been talking about, you know, it's always union and some of those crafts that come into play. But Joe, you got a little bit of insight on some non-traditional apprenticeship occupations.
Absolutely. And you guys kind of alluded to it, you know, manufacturing, construction, and the trades, electricians, pipe fitters, welders. those were the areas that we've seen a lot of apprenticeships in. And today we're seeing it in the non-traditional areas, the healthcares, the ITs. They're taking more interest in those apprenticeships. Again, we wouldn't see that a few years ago. Those things were a little bit more common overseas, Germany and whatnot. Over in Germany, you could be an apprentice of a CEO. But more realistically, here in the greater Lansing area, we're seeing a lot of collaborations going on between healthcare companies, in particular, medical assistant apprenticeships. A few years ago, McLaren, Sparrow, and Capital Internal Medicine Associates came together and created a collaboration for medical assistants. Since then, over the last 3 years, Sparrow has gone alone and created their own medical assistant program, and it's done very well.
Well, I got to tell you, you're moving into areas that we all need. And right now, as you guys know, the number one problem out there for businesses is getting that talent. So this is a good way to get them on board and lock them in. Jay LaNew, apprenticeship / business services officer, and Joe Winkiel, the business services officer at CAMW, Capital Area Michigan Works. Thanks for joining us, guys. Keep up the good work. We need them.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you.
All right, this is Chris Holman. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network, and we'll be back.